like I mentioned, I was playing classical guitar for a long time. Went to university and have a degree in performance on classical guitar. And at the time that I was studying, I was actually playing a 17-string guitar, which was kind of an evolution of the guitar to be able to play lute music. Then I started, eventually, when I was living in Hay River, I started a lute festival, and it ran for 10 years. I was able to connect with some of the world's best lute players, and they came up to the Northwest. Everybody wants to come to the NWT, and so it's easy to get people through a phone call or through an email to invite people to come here. So we had artists from Paris, France, London, England, the US, and it was during that time that it was suggested to me that Tyler, if you're really into lute music, which I was back then as well, you should really have a lute. So that's when I decided to have this one commissioned from a couple of luthiers in London, England, Barber and Harris. And I waited 2 years for them to make this, and then it shipped and I got it, and then I immediately started down the path of learning how to play the lute. You can take lessons, but there's a really good method book that's available, and it takes you through everything you need to know about playing the lute. And so I'm essentially self-taught, and I have had lessons, and I do take lessons now with a really wonderful lute player and instructor, Michel Carden. He's in New Brunswick, but he's a leading authority in the Baroque Lute and early music. He's given me a lot of guidance, but for the most part I'm learning on my own. And the thing that I like about it the most, and I could play all day, just ask my family because they've heard these pieces over and over. It's different than the guitar because you have this real interplay between fingers, and everything that you do on the lute seems at first counterintuitive. You know, my right hand is doing this while my left hand is doing that, and there's a lot of actual playing that you do with your left hand, unlike with the guitar where you're picking strings and you're playing. This is more of a trade-off, and you feel it as you're playing, and you don't really sense it until you start getting a piece, and then you start realizing, wow, this is like ping pong, back and forth. And I think just that in itself, I'm just so attracted to that. It's a kinesthetic kind of a feeling.